Hello guys, welcome to the first of our many mod showcases, and today we're going to be covering one of the main mods used on the Project Flatline SMP. That mod is Utility Craft made by Dorios Studios. You can go ahead, you will be able to find a link to their Discord and the mod's download in the description. And without further ado, let's get started, shall we? So, now we're in game. First thing you're going to realize is if you are in creator mode, you have a lot of these new machines. Now, in the future, we will be going over a lot of the more advanced machines and what they do and so forth. But for today, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get to the basics. Now, at any point, once you download this mod, you are stuck. Dorios Studios, the legends that they are, have gone ahead and added in, if you go to how to play, you'll see at the very top this new section called Utility Craft, and within here you can get the full introduction of the resources, getting started, how you get steel, and then all of your drop tables. Now each of these drops are for different things, which we will be going over in the future. So to start with, when you're in a world, you're going to want to go ahead and find a tree. Because we're on a creative world, what we're going to do here is just get some spruce, and let's go ahead and grab some bone meal. And of course, I cannot spell. That is something you will notice pretty normal. So we've got our first tree here. Once you go ahead, you grow it. You can harvest it and go ahead. Once you've harvested the tree, we'll go into survival here. Just so you guys get the survival experience. /gamerbird, yes. So when you're in survival, obviously you can mine this. And if you've noticed at the top of the screen, we can see everything. And all that is a part of the Dorios Insights. Now, that is a mod I recommend using whenever you are playing vanilla Minecraft or even normal. So our first step is obviously we've got some sticks, we've got some wood, and now you will need a spruce log, and you can go ahead, you can craft a hammer. Now, the hammer is the main thing to get started in this mod. Once you go ahead, got it, any natural block such as grass and dirt, just crouch and then you left click or Alt on Xbox, and you can go ahead, you see, you get these pebbles. Now, we've got some stone, and with these pebbles, in here you can see it makes cobblestone, granite, gravel, each one corresponding to the pebble. So once you've gone ahead, you get enough, and what we're after here is some gravel. And we have some gravel ones now. Alternatively, what you can... Okay, it's not wanting craft. The quality will improve for later videos. But... So once you go ahead, you get these, you craft them into the required materials. Not sure why it's been a bit of a pain there. So you can see we have cobblestone, we have gravel, obviously we can craft the rest. Now, alternatively, if you find yourself having too much cobblestone for whatever reason, go ahead, get yourself a hammer, like we had before, and just break it. Now, each time you break it, you can see it's now dropped gravel. The gravel can then be hammered down into dirt, and then dirt hammers down into sand. And from there, once you've gone ahead, you've got yourself stick, you got yourself flint. If you make yourself a flint knife and just chop up some of these leaves, don't always drop, but as you can see, you get fiber. Now, what is fiber used for? Once you have fiber, you can go ahead and craft yourself some string. It is 4 fiber per string. Now, if you pair this mod with the likes of Dorios Excavate, it becomes a lot easier. You get vine miner, you get all sorts. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do, just because this is, that did not want to work. Love it. Because you're going ahead and get this, the next step is obviously you get more wood, progress further, and then you would make yourself a sieve. So that is here, basics. These are all the basic stuff you can go ahead and get. And then with a sieve, you go ahead, put it down, and you get a mesh. So the starter mesh is just a string mesh. You can go ahead, you craft this using some sticks and some string, clues in its name. And from that, you can go ahead, you can grab yourself some gravel. that'll obviously compress down. And when it does, you can get gravel and you can get coal with the basic one. From there, once you get enough flint, you can go ahead, you can make yourself flint mesh. And then once you get flint mesh and you can do gravel again, you'll get more. Again, all the drop tables are in there. So you can see here, that's the drop chance. So each time you compress, well, you sieve them, it's not 100% drop chance. But once you've gone ahead, you've got yourself some flint, you've got yourself some steel, all of that good stuff. You want to go ahead and get yourself a smelt flare. So, what is the smelt flare? This is your first step into getting steel. So, if we go ahead, we'll put ourselves back into survival if the game will let us. So, in survival, with this, as you can see, let's go ahead, clear that off. And then on here, you can see brute steel. Now, brute steel, that's made from coal and raw iron. And once you get the brute steel, you have two options. You can either go ahead and craft it with another smelt flare directly into a steel ingot. Alternatively, you can smelt it. And that's how you get the first steel. Once you've gone ahead and got steel, the next thing what you want to go ahead and do is craft yourself up one of these workbenches. Now, these workbenches, if we put ourselves back in survival, you can see you can craft quite a lot of stuff, like the mob grinder, etc. I'm not sure why it's only showing the mob grinder at the moment, but that is it. So, of course, you're going to see that quite a lot in this. As we go ahead, we get more views, get more stuff. Obviously, we will improve the production quality. So, with these, you have access to some basic machines. So, you can see we have generators, we have the Fernator. The Fernator is, if I go ahead, let's grab the ultimate one, for example. Go ahead, you put your fuel source in. This can take any normal block in the game that is smeltable, such as right here, we'll use a block of coal. You can see that'll give you the fuel information, which is the time to burn it, the value. So KDE is what's used in this. So that's how much you're getting per block that it's smelting, energy, and the rate at what it's doing. Now, you will want to keep an eye on the rate as each machine has its own use rate. So obviously from that, you can also get thermogenerators, magmators. Each of these, you can go ahead, get more information on. They'll be covered in later videos, and some solar panels doing exactly as you expect. It'll generate power during the day and won't at night. So just be wary of that. If you are using solar panels, you're going to have a problem at night unless you go ahead, pair it with a battery. Obviously, you've also got wind turbines. It says that you get a height multiplier for how high the wind turbine is. It states its base rate, and just note that these do not work below Y20. And then energy transmitters and receivers, which can go ahead, we'll cover them in a later video that'll focus more on transferring power, how to power different machines and such. But for this one, we're going to do a very basic machine setup on how to automate the process of getting gravel and automatically sieving it. So you can go ahead in survival, craft yourself a cobblestone generator. Now, each of these generators are crafted quite simply, and each one goes ahead and uses its own production. So you can see going up and up and up to a maximum of 20 cobblestone per second. Now, if we go ahead, we'll hop back into survival and we'll show you the crafting recipe of them generators. So if you want to go ahead search gen, you do not need to use any machines to craft the basic ones, but you can see grab yourself 2 obsidian, glass, a water bucket, lava bucket, and 4 copper. Now, copper you get from sieving sand, so just be wary of that. It's the only ore that doesn't come from gravel. So once you've gone ahead, you will grab yourself a cobblestone generator. Once you've got yourself cobblestone, I really hate Minecraft chat sometimes. Once you go ahead, you've got yourself a cobblestone generator. For this one, we're going to be using a very basic setup. So let's get rid of this. We'll start from tier 1. So first of all, you place down your cobblestone generator. As you can see here at the front, it's got that outlet pipe. That is the direction that it will be pushing into. So if we go ahead and we grab ourselves a barrel and plop that down, you can see it'll start filling up with cobble. Now, additionally, you can put it straight into a machine, which what we're going to do here. The very first machine that we're going to be using is a crusher. So if we go back to here, let's search crusher. Now, there is only one tier of crusher at the moment, but it does have acceptable upgrades, which will be covered later on. So as you can see, we've got no energy, but cobblestone's going in. So for the purposes of this, let's use a Furnator. Now, everything's being basic, so all of this is survival friendly. So we've got that. Let's grab ourselves a cable. Now, cables, quite easy to use. You find whatever's producing your energy, go ahead, plop it down, and it'll transfer the energy into the machine. So let's go ahead, grab some coal. And now that's producing energy. And as you can see, the crusher is working. It's crushing the cobblestone directly into gravel. And what we're going to do, I did not want social. Sorry about that, guys. Let's go to audio. Let's just turn this down a bit. It's a bit loud. So now that that's turned down, you can see it's just crushing it straight into gravel there. And now we've got that gravel. You can go ahead. You can put a chest. It'll input it directly into the chest, just like all the other ones. And just be wary when you are placing these down, they do have a front, as you can see. The front normally is this part, as you can see that. And also with the Insight mod, if you crouch, you can see how much energy it's got in it. So with this one, it's currently got 14,000 energy, and that will keep going up. But now you've got that, let's go ahead and grab a sieve. So with the sieve, you plop this down. It is got a front just like all the others do. And with this, you can see it's getting the gravel, but it isn't working. Now, why isn't it working? This is criteria, it says there, no mesh. So let's go ahead. We'll grab the very basic string mesh. You probably, by this point, will have a better mesh than this. So don't want to put it over that. We'll get into that side in a bit. Now you've got the mesh and it's telling you no energy. That's fine. That's simple. Just put down the energy cable. That'll then take the energy directly into there. Now, just note, energy cables will always power the first one in a series. So in this series, it's powering the energy to here. So once that energy is maxed, it'll then pass it on to there. So in order just for it to pass a little bit quicker, we will be going ahead and just adding in a secondary one of these furnaces. You can connect them differently, but for now we're just going to put it right there, and then this one should pass energy directly to here. It just takes a moment to get it. And once we've got energy, we will go ahead and grab in a barrel. So that'll output it directly into here and of its output. So for now, we're going to be leaving that going. So going back to steel, the most simple bonus way of getting steel once you've got your first machines is getting what's called an infuser. Now, the infuser will have different recipes inside of it. As you can see, catalyst and such. Our very first catalyst will be to get steel. So, in order to get steel, you're wondering, you go ahead, you get yourself some raw iron. So, we've got our raw iron there, and note it can be used with blocks as well. So, we will be using blocks in this example. Put in your block of iron, and just like in the smelt flare, add in your coal. Note this can also be done with charcoal. And once that's done, go ahead and supply it with power, and then that'll start producing steel. So if you guys just give me 2 seconds. So sorry about that, guys. I was incorrect. The mistake will probably be edited out of the video, but for now we'll keep it in. Is everyone makes mistakes. Well, you can see it is actually iron and coal instead of the raw variant. You can only use the raw variant if you're using the smelt flares. Then obviously, once this gets power, it'll go ahead and start producing. For this one, we're just going to add its own dedicated power just so you can see it working. So now that that's got power, it is producing energy. Now note it does use quite a bit of energy. This is using 40D a second, and our machine is directly producing 40, meaning we won't get an energy surplus here. It'll roughly stay about the same as it's using 100% of the energy we're giving it. And then you've gone ahead. That's how you get steel blocks. And if you go back to here, this one is now crushing and our auto sieve is now sieving the gravel. Now, you cannot see it getting inputted there because it's being put straight into the chest. And as an example, if we go ahead, we'll put a better mesh in here. So let's replace our basic string with a netherite one. And now, instead of just giving flint and coal, the netherite will give us all the different ores in the game. The only one it does not automate is your netherite. Netherite comes a little bit differently. We'll get into that in the future. We'll be going ahead. Each of these will make some shorter videos covering how to automate different types of ore and different stuff. Now, additionally, within this mod, as a basic thing, go ahead and get yourself a chest. And with that chest, you can go ahead and make yourself a bonsai. So with the bonsai, this is used with any sort of dirt or soil. For this one, let's just go ahead and use a dirt, and then we need a sapling. So we've used some saplings in here. Apparently not got it in my inventory. That is perfectly fine. Let's go ahead, we'll use spruce. So you can see that will slowly grow a mini tree. Now, once it grows, it'll input it into here. You can slightly improve the speed of this if you go ahead, grab yourself a shovel and just shovel it. That will grow it. I think it's like 10 seconds quicker. I could be wrong. Now, there are different ways to improve these bonsais. If we go ahead and in here, we'll search soil. There are an additional 4 tiers of soil, lowest being yellow, then red, then blue, and then black. So each of them improves the rate of speed that this can go, but they are also used on the additional crops. Now, these crops can be 2 seconds if we search for them. They do come under seeds. You can see there is now a whole variety of seeds. Each of these seeds are used for the base seed. So you want the base seed. For the coal, you'd put coal around it. For the copper, copper. For the dyes, you can go ahead, use any sort of dye, so forth and so on. Each of these seeds do have a different tier, up to tier 4, which is your wither, totem, shulkers, netherites, and so forth. Obviously, you have to use the correct seed for the soil. Lower seeds, such as a tier 1, can be used on a tier 4 soil, but you can't use a higher tier seed on a lower tier soil. So, for example, we've gone ahead, we've got the max tier 1 here, the black, and the lowest. So we can put copper on the lowest, but we can't put it here because that black soil is a tier 4. So if we go ahead, we'll grab ourselves a totem seed. And once that's down, plop it, and that will grow totems. Now, as balancing, because some of these are a bit imbalanced, as you may think. Like, oh, so you're just growing totems? No, these can't be bone mealed. That is fully intentional. So, in addition to that, these special seeds, obviously, the soils can be put in here, but as you can see, we're using tier 4 and it's not being put. That is because they just simply improve the growth rate. As you can see, that's growing a lot quicker than that one. And as you can see, everything's getting inputted into here. If you are wanting to automatically grow these seeds, that will be covered in a future video because there's a dedicated machine for that. So now you've got that, you're wondering, whilst we're in survival, if you're using this on a skyblock, for example, how are you going ahead and getting lava? So the lava comes from, 2 seconds, let me find it, basics. You can see here we get a crucible. Now the crucible can be filled in with some cobblestone. So it's 4 cobblestone per tier. As you can see there, it says 4 cobble. Now, why isn't it smelting? You may be asking. That is because it requires some form of light source. So we can go ahead, we can use lava or we can use torch. So for that one, we'll put lava and we'll put torch over here for this one. Now, if we fill them both up, you can see they're smelting at different speeds. This one's obviously started quicker, so it will be one ahead, but it will smelt a lot quicker. And that is because each of these gives a different speed, 1 to 4, 4 being lava. And what I probably will have in the description of this video is a link to the documentation of this mod as well. And that is how you go ahead and get in the basics started. Once you've got the basics, you can go ahead, you'll produce lots of better and more advanced stuff. And as always, thanks for watching the video. That is how you get started with all the machines. My name is Zero Sorrow, and we are the Project Flatline team. And we'll be back in a future video with more stuff. If you need any additional assistance, go ahead, join the Doritos Studios Discord. They can help you out further. Alternatively, join ours, we'll also try to assist, but they're the main one. Again, massive thanks to the developers of this mod. It is free on Bedrock. You can go ahead, get it on CurseForge, MC Pedal, and their GitHub directly. Now, speaking with the mod creator, this will be free forever, and they want to continue supporting and uploading the mod, keeping it up to date for you guys. So go ahead, give us a shout if you need help. And going forward. Thanks for that, guys. Catch you in a future video.